Thank you as always for coming back to class. This is your boy, Usman. I have a question for you today. In fact, I have a question. If you push yourself to the limit in your practice every single day, does this lead in long-term consistent growth, or does this lead to injuries and stagnation? Answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear your answer. This is a gentle flow. And why is it going to be gentle? Because on the path of self-mastery, it is all about learning to adapt and all about learning to find balance. So on the days when you're injured, when you're tired, when you're stiff, a gentle practice is absolutely perfect and essential. Don't miss a day just because you can't give it everything. Don't miss a day of your practice just because you can't do a handstand because your wrists are hurting. If the wrists hurt, find a way to take them out of the equation for a short while. Adapt, come onto the forearms, work more into the lower body. Do you know what I'm saying? Find your way of adapting so that you can stay consistent in your practice. So let's find ourselves on the mat, and I'll see you there very shortly. So let's begin today's practice on our backs. Find yourself comfortable on the mat. Lay down. And if this is the morning for you, then this is just going to feel absolutely amazing. Just by itself, laying on the ground feels so good. So why don't you just start with a Shavasana? Legs naturally spread, arms naturally separated, palms facing the sky. Close the eyes gently and bring your awareness into the body. Particularly at the level of the abdomen, notice how your belly rises and falls with each breath. Take note of how you feel right now before the practice. Let's begin our movement. We'll take the right knee, squeeze the right knee in towards the chest, engage in a nice deep breath. Expand the belly on the inhale and deepen on the exhale. Pushing through the left heel, left leg nice and straight. On the next exhale, twist the leg over to the left. Perhaps extending through the right arm, gaze towards the right hand. And when you're ready, release. Left knee squeezes in, right leg fully extends. On the inhale, breathe in. We're doing this for our physical and mental health. It's not just physical. And it's not just mental. On the exhale, twist over to the opposite side. Gaze towards the left hand. And don't push too hard. Allow the weight of the arm and the breath to do most of the work. Let's come back to center. We'll take our heels to the outer edges of the mat or outer edges of the hips. Heels turned outwards so the knees naturally collapse in. Let's bring the hips up high. Arms placed gently on the ground. Arms placed on the ground. Press those hips up to the sky. Engage through the heels and the glutes. And relax. Pull those knees in. And create some nice circles on the lower back. Making sure to go in both directions. This is a beautiful way to massage out your lower back, especially of a morning or after any back bends. Let's go for another bridge pose. Pull the feet in close, outer edges of the mat or the hips. This time, let's clasp our hands together underneath the hips. We'll raise the hips up to the sky and we'll roll the shoulders underneath. Press through the heels. Breathe into the spine. Expand the chest. And relax. Knees pulled in. And enjoy. Good. Let's take our feet to the ground. And on the next exhale, we're going to take the legs off to the left. On the inhale, we rise up to the center. And on the exhale, the legs fall over to the right. Inhale up. Exhale across. Inhale up. Exhale across. Synchronize the movement with the breath. And then find yourself in a central position. Let's take the right leg up nice and high. And what we'll do is we'll lift our upper back off the ground. We'll just take that leg around the shin or even around the back of the knee, whatever works for you. Take hold of the leg where you can, fingers interlaced. Extend through the left leg. And start to pull the leg towards the face. Extend through that left leg. And relax. You don't need to go too intense. And if the neck hurts, we can just rest that neck on the ground. We can just rest the head on the ground. Extend through the right leg. Pull back on the left. Attempting to bring the leg towards the face. Reconnect with the breath. Press through the left heel. And release when you're ready. Let's take the knees together and we'll start to just rock up and down the spine. Warming up the spine completely. And we'll find ourselves to seated posture. Now in seated, let's extend through the right leg. And we're going to bring our left foot in on the inside of the right thigh. Now notice we're focusing a lot on the lower body because this practice is especially for you if you're experiencing injuries in the upper body or you've been overtraining. You just need to bring some balance into your practice. Turn the hips forwards. Pull the right heel back, untuck the tailbone. On the inhale, raise through the arms. And on the exhale, hinge from the hips, bringing the belly towards the thigh. On the inhale, allow yourself to come out of the posture slightly. Lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, sink deeper in. Inhale, lengthen. And on every exhale, deepen. And release the posture. We can take the right leg over the left. Right hand comes behind for support. Left arm raises up to the sky. Elbow around the knee. Twist. And reconnect to the breath. Back to center. Left leg fully extends. Right foot comes to the inside of the left leg. Untuck the tailbone. Pull the foot in close. Press through the left heel. Lengthen the spine on the inhale. And on the exhale, forward fold, bringing the belly onto the thigh. A slight bend in the knee is okay. Inhale, pull the shoulders back, lengthen the spine, belly to the thigh. Exhale. Lengthen on every in-breath. And deepen on every out-breath. Attempting to straighten through that left leg as best as we can. And instead of bringing the head to the knee, let's try and bring the head to the toes. And release. We'll take the left leg over the right. Left hand behind for support. Raise through the right arm. And exhale, twist. On every inhale, we lengthen. On every exhale, we twist deeper. And release. Good. So find yourself now on the toes. So come onto the knees, bring yourself onto the toes, take your feet nice and wide. Not too wide, of course, toes slightly pointed out. And we'll sink into Malasana. Enjoy a nice squat. Open the knees with the elbows. Tilt the hips underneath. Spine nice and tall, chest up and through. Breath nice and deep. Always breathe deeply. And every time you forget to, every time you lose your breath, remember to come back. And every time you find yourself lost and you bring yourself back to the breath, this is success, this is something to celebrate. You're strengthening your awareness with every time you remind yourself to breathe deep. Feel the feet on the ground. And from our squat, we'll come back onto the knees. Now, let's come high up onto the knees. We can even tuck the toes as well. Place the hands on the lower back. Find a nice support. Big breath in, expand the chest. Exhale. Start to open up the shoulders. Find a hand position that works for you. And relax when you're ready. Kneeling onto the toes. Stretch out the toes completely. If this is too intense, hands on the ground in front. We'll go for the same posture. Hands can be on the lower back or on the heels. On the inhale, press the hips through. Chest comes through. Breathing into the spine, shoulders open. Face relaxed. And release the posture. Come onto the knees and we'll bring the hands behind the body this time. Fingers pointing forwards. Inhale, raise through the hips. The closer the hands, the more you'll have a bend, the more difficult this might be. Press up through the hips. Open up your shoulders. And release. Rest for a moment. Next, when you want to come deeper, we can come onto the forearms. Or we can stay up onto the hands, it's up to you. You find the position that works for you. And if it's accessible for you today, come all the way onto the back. Make sure the knees come back close to the ground. When the knees are away from the ground, we lose the posture. Take those knees to the ground. Push the hips up high. Perfect opportunity to close the eyes and just feel into the posture. You might even want to raise one hip at a time. Raise one hip at a time. And notice how this feels in this particular posture. Good. And when you're ready, find your way back. Let's come to a seated posture, and we'll start to finish off today's practice with some neck stretches. So let's bring one hand over the head. The shoulder that we're pulling away from pulls down towards the ground. This is stretching from below. And then we pull on the side of the head, stretching out the neck. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, keep the spine nice and tall. And release. Opposite side. So, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing deeply, mindfully. Just stretch out. Now scrunch the chin up. This might pull a funny face on you, but that's okay. Chin comes up like this. Yeah, funny face. And raise the chin up to the sky. Just feel that release in the neck. And to take it even deeper, bring the hands onto the skin so that when we raise the chin, we pull down, deepen that stretch. So make some big arcs with the chin. At the same time, hands around the chest, pulling down on that skin. The fascia, making this feel 10 times more intense, or 10 times more effective. Good, release. Now with stretching out the back of the neck, notice that we've got the spine, and we've got these two channels that go down either end of the spine. So we want to stretch out left and right sides of the back of the neck. So let's start stretching out either side. The back of the neck, tall spine, and release. Opposite side, bring the chin slightly to the chest. And pull gently on the head. And pull gently on the head, creating a stretch in the back of the neck. Let's bring our palms together, fingers interlaced, open through the shoulders. Chase the hands to the ground. Release tension from the upper spine. And maintaining these arms, come to child's pose, forehead to the ground. Pull the arms overhead. and we'll sink the hips back. We'll take the knees nice and wide, big toes together, arms stretched out in front. Forehead on the ground. Just allow any tension to be released from the back of the neck, from the shoulders, and we'll finish here in child's pose. Feel your forehead against the ground. Feel your hands against the ground. Sink the hips back, the tailbone rounds underneath. And feel into the spine. Take some moments here in Shavasana. Take some moments here in child's pose to just be with yourself. Take as long as you need. And if you enjoyed this flow, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and if you loved it, share it with as many people as you can. Have a beautiful day. Take as long as you need in child's pose. Breathe deeply throughout the rest of this day. Breathe mindfully. And I'll see you in the next class.